right. So, hello everybody. I am live here on Zoom, on Facebook, and on Instagram. I'm finally able to get back in my own Facebook group, which I was banned from posting in for a month because I shared information about a life-saving drug that they didn't want me to share. So anyway, yeah, fun times. So I wanted to do a guided meditation this evening um, on finding light in the darkness. And the reason why I came up with that, name is because there's a lot of darkness right now. And a lot of us are experiencing just, the pressure, the intensity, the efforts to manipulate, to control, to really, like break us. So it feels like, break us. And while, it can seem like, everything's just getting worse and worse and worse. But, hi everybody, by the way, nice to see some people here, Instagram. What I really find is so important to rise above, to find that higher perspective of what's actually happening. And, I talk about this all the time, but the way that I do that is in the Akashic Records, because it's like this energy that pulls me up to kind of get a bird's eye view. And, we don't always know what's happening when we're in it. I was just sick for a few weeks. I'm still recovering, and I at first was fighting it. Why is this happening? I'm not supposed to be sick. I have all this stuff to do. And then I realized something's happening beyond my understanding. This is some soul lesson, soul growth. I knew there was a reason that it was happening, and I, at first I was thinking, well, it's a psychic attack, it's a spiritual attack, and I wrote an email about this to some of you that may have gotten it. And that's, that's a little bit of, that's a 3D perspective, because that may be true on some level. It certainly feels that way in some level, but at a high level, things like illness, like, just the intensity, the being kind of the separation, the, just the grief that a lot of us are experiencing, the anger. These are all, and for me, it was frustration. I don't want to be sick right now. I just want to get up and do stuff. But so when those heavy emotions come up, what I find is instead of fighting them, instead of trying to push them away and just wish they're not there, they say what we resist persists. It's, instead of going into those, like, what is the message that this has for me right now? Why is this happening? What am I meant to learn from this? And when we do that, that's when things become illuminated. And again, we're all here. If you're listening, you're here to bring light, to bring to this planet. But it doesn't mean that we're exempt from going through our own soul lessons and soul growth. That we're, we would just die tomorrow if we were done, right? We're always learning. We're always growing. Our souls have set up lessons that we're meant to work on that we're not consciously aware of, because our higher selves decided, okay, these situations, this energy is going to unfold in this person's life, so they have an opportunity to work on a certain lesson. Maybe it's having stronger boundaries. Maybe it's learning to forgive and have compassion for those who it's very difficult to have compassion for when they're can be quite challenging, to say the least, as we're experiencing right now. With people who may see things very differently than we do, and we feel like we're trying to help them, and it's like, I love this meme that somebody shared. It's like trying to save somebody from a burning building, and you're going in and telling them that the building's on fire, but not only do they not believe you, but they're punching you in the face while you're telling them. And, that's what a lot of us are experiencing. And so, it's like that some people just aren't ready. They don't want to hear it. They just push it away. It's too much for them to acknowledge the level of, I don't really like using this word, but it is evil. There's some things that are really just not okay. It's these agendas, and it's hard to believe the level of like how much we've been lied to. And we don't want to believe that. It's an optimistic view of the world to think, well, they must be telling us the truth about this and about that. How could they lie to us? They wouldn't do that. So it's like, well, I'm glad you are so optimistic. I'm glad that you believe in the best, and and most humans are good, but this is not. This is thousands of years of planetary control from beings who probably are human, but they're controlled by other beings who probably aren't human by this intervening consciousness. I could go way down the rabbit hole now. And a lot of you know this. So, but it's still hard. It's hard. It's hard. And for one, holiday time, we're doing random weird things with family members at different times, but tomorrow, Thanksgiving, we're not with our extended family. So for me, there was a little bit of grief at first and sadness, but it's all for varying reasons. But I am embracing that we have this new tradition with our family, maybe a few friends, seeing here and there around this week, new friends, and trying to not focus on what was lost, but focus on what's to come. And so that's really what I really want to talk about this evening is it's easy to just see what's happening. And again, a lot of this is a grand distraction from what's really going on. That's what a lot of this is. All the stuff in the media, all the whole COVID thing is a big distraction. And while I think, there's also some higher spiritual purpose to this COVID situation, which is, how much does it take for humans to wake up? Well, it takes a lot. They have to see the darkness. They have to see what's really going on. And a lot of people are seeing. You're not going to see it in the media, all the protests, all the thousands and thousands of people rising up around the world saying, no, we do not consent. It is happening. It's absolutely amazing. And it's all peaceful. I think everything I've seen is very, very peaceful. And so it may seem bad, but what comes up in the records for me is this is our sovereignty, that we are saying, these systems of control, they've kept us in these mind control for thousands of years. And now, people compare what's happening to Nazi Germany. Yes, it's similar. And, some people don't like hearing that because it's all these atrocities, but the way that the entire population was brainwashed and conditioned into believing that another segment of the population was diseased and dangerous, this is how they did it. This is exactly how they did it. And so, before we go down that, rabbit hole, but, all the quarantine camps and the not allowed to do anything, and get gas or even leave your country and leave your home, which is what we're seeing in some places. Before we go down that fear of what is this going to happen everywhere? Are we going to live in this nightmare world? No, I don't believe it is, because humans are awakening. Things are different than they were back in World War II during the Holocaust. Humans were not awake. People are awakening now and we're seeing it so right in front of our faces, and so that's how we separate from it and how we free ourselves. So for many of us, it's just patience. Just wait. Observe, let the masses of humanity awaken at their own rate. They need to be ready in accordance with their soul contract. And in the meantime, it's up to us to try to focus on where we're going. Remember, it's been predicted. We forget. Is the new earth really coming? Is this supposed to be this great, beautiful unity and love? And I don't see that a lot. Sometimes we don't see that. But when we unplug from, again, we're being bombarded with fear. And even those of us, I won't go all the way down this, but some people believe that the food supply is going to collapse and, we need to, hoard and prepare. And I personally don't do that because I feel that's a little bit fear-based. And while, there's probably it's good to be practical in some senses, I believe that we have higher divine guides who are going to be helping us move through this. Doesn't mean I'm just going to sit around and just, live and visualize and hope. But I believe very deeply that our needs will always be provided for. There will be ways. If we don't have what we need, there will be a friend that will give it to us. Again, it's aligning our vibration and focusing on what's being birthed. So if you turn off the news, if you turn off, even social media. They're, homeschooling, people just exiting their work jobs and starting businesses that they've always wanted to start, getting out of the matrix. There, people just growing their own food more and more, living off the land. This is happening everywhere, and you don't hear the news talking about it. So that is the new earth, and it's really amazing. Again, as I've seen in the records, it doesn't feel like it's going to be this grand, massive, all of a sudden disclosure thing where boom, everybody wakes up at once, but just a gradual shifting, a disengaging from 3D, little by little, one by one. The light bulbs go off around the planet as people awaken and they say, I'm taking my kid out of school because it's not a safe place for kids, because it's not. And I'm going to, leave my job because they're trying to coerce me into doing something that violates my bodily autonomy. Even though it doesn't feel good on the surface, maybe your job wasn't serving you, and this is your opportunity to start a business or, explore an idea with somebody that you've always dreamed of. So all these things are happening, and I think it's all about our perspective. We can view it as glass half empty or glass half full. That comes up over and over again in the records when I do readings for people. It's all about a perspective. So as much as we can, try to hold onto that hope, because other people need us to do that. Some of them, I don't care if they've gotten how many booster shots, I still believe that we all will have the ability to ascend. And yes, for some people it might be a little more difficult. If they have some of these toxins in their body, they were gonna need help. When they realize what's been done. And every human, and they're victims, and they're going to need us to hold compassion for them, even if they've been not so nice before. That's where we are being asked to rise above, to hold them in compassion. Remember, they just do not know. They're not able to accept at this point, at their level of consciousness, the truth, and they will at some point. I believe, hopefully, not everybody in this lifetime, but a lot of people will. So, so that's what I'm working on, and that's what I'm hoping that a lot of you are hearing. And nobody said this was easy. We signed up for this to be here to incarnate this time on Earth. It's definitely, challenging. I make sure to go outside every morning. I hug a tree. Yes, I do. I hug a different tree every morning. Connect with that grounding energy. And I feel light, I just connect in with light, do some quieting of my mind, which is meditation, and that always helps me just reset and just feel the sense of hope. Nature knows, nature is just, doesn't care what's going on. The trees are going to be there. The grass is going to be there. The birds, the animals, they don't care about any of this stuff. They're just living their lives, and they're in a very pure vibration, unlike many humans right now. So we have a lot to learn from nature. So, all right, let's do a meditation to bring in this feeling of hope. And I think I was calling it finding light in the darkness, or finding hope in the darkness. I don't know what I called it. I made up some name. So how can we focus on that and hold that light in our hearts for others who may not be able to do that at this time? A lot of people are sick, and they're going to get even more sick. And it's going to be the hardest. We're not going to go around saying, I told you so. Right? That's not loving, but it's going to be very hard to watch what is coming and what's already starting to happen. And the more that we can just, be in that place of love and healing and compassion, these people they're suffering. So they're going to need us. So let's bring in that energy to get ready for our job, our jobs. I always say to people, if you're in the healing profession, you're going to be very busy, and you probably already are, because people are going to come to you for help. In fact, I'm just going to put this out there now. I'm doing an intuitive guide certificate program that I'm starting, a new one. It's called the Soulful Work Method, in January 2022, where I'll be training people to do the work that I do, guided imagery, helping people move through the ego shadows, finding, co-creating their future self, learning how to read the Akashic Records, which is absolutely life-changing for anybody that we all can access it, but learning how to do it is just absolutely, I can't even begin to say how transformational it is. You could probably learn everybody can learn. And then in the last part of this 10-month program, learning how to start a business and make it a livelihood, which is a lot of people say, well, I want to do this, but how do I make money from it? It's possible. We just got to clear out our limiting beliefs. And so that last part is marketing, website stuff, blog, how to create a blog, maybe how to, do all of the back end finance things that so many people don't always want to do. So I'm going to post that link in here. For anybody who's interested, feel free to reach out and I'll share more. Okay, on to the meditation. So let's close our eyes. Take a deep breath in and then a slow exhale. Take another few deep inhales. Holding at the top of the inhale, feeling this beautiful expansion. And then slowly exhaling out. Just letting go, just for now. One more breath in, and then as you exhale, just begin to imagine anything not serving you is flowing out like a gentle river out through your nose or mouth like black smoke, letting go of any low vibrational stuff. And now just bring your awareness into the movement of breath. Just noticing what's happening in your body. We don't often bring our awareness into an internal level. So just for now, notice all the systems that are working together. Your heart pumping blood, your respiratory system bringing in air, this exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide. Circulatory system, bringing blood through the body, all this healing, nourishing nutrients flowing through every limb, through every organ. Your nervous system, which is now calming. It's really a true miracle to be in the body that you're in, how everything works together so perfectly. Notice your belly rising and falling, the chest gradually rising and falling as well. And as you breathe in next, begin to imagine that you're amplifying light in your heart. As if you're maybe slowly turning on a lever up to the on switch. And as you do that, the floodlights are being turned on in your heart, illuminating the heart space. Feeling light, flooding out, flooding in. Like when you open the curtains on a sunny day and the light streams in through the window, how beautifully it fills the room. And then feel that light coming in through the top of your head, and maybe even in through your feet, just circulating through your body. I do this every day, pretty much. I do this every time I go into the Akashic Records, and this is one of the easiest ways to raise your vibration. Just feeling light and to just cleanse and heal the body. Especially when you feel the light in your heart, then you're activating the seat of your soul. You're activating your intuitive self. So intuition is through the heart. That's how spirit communicates with us, through feelings. So I'd like you to imagine right now that all this light you're generating, that around you is dark. And that's how the world may seem right now, just very dark. things that you hear about, that you have experienced, that bring sadness, that bring grief, that bring even a sense of despair and hopelessness. We've all gone through those feelings. It almost feels like will this ever end? How much longer can we tolerate this? But you're still here. There's something within you that knows that you can get through this, and that knows that you are strong enough to resist the intense pressure. Maybe you don't know how, but it just is very strong, that light. And so I'd like you to imagine if you were somehow floating far away in the darkness and looking at yourself from afar, there would be this beautiful luminous light coming from your heart that you're generating right now. And as you also maybe peer out into the darkness from this different viewpoint, you notice other points of light, sparks of light, glowing balls of light, of other souls who are seeing through the illusions, who are anchoring this light like little light bulbs all around the planet. Tens of thousands, actually hundreds of thousands of people are here to bring in light. So just hold that awareness for a moment. And remember that 100 years ago, even 50 years ago, even 20 years ago, the things that a lot of us are talking about now would have been deemed as completely crazy by most people. But now, it's becoming more mainstream, more accepted. And this, what does this tell us? This tells us that consciousness is shifting, that this light is helping to bring humans into fifth dimensional frequency, which is what Mother Earth, what Gaia, what our planet is already moving into. And we are simply adjusting our vibration to go along with her. But we are not able to bring all of our baggage with us. It's too heavy, it's too dense. It cannot sustain itself. Any fear, any limiting belief, any negative pattern, thought, anything that's old stuff from childhood, from past lives, ego-based behaviors, we need to shed that. We are being asked to shed that, and that is why we're experiencing our own inner shadows in our own lives, so our light can fully shine. They're coming up, they're bubbling to the surface. And when we allow those emotions to be experienced and felt, then they can be released. And as we do this, our light glows stronger out from our hearts, like a beacon. And the souls who are dim right now, some are very dark. Some of those who are the controllers who are very, very dark. There's still a tiny speck of light. There is still a flame. There is still hope for them. And when you shine that light from your heart just by being who you are, by doing your inner work, it begins to activate. Just like when you bring lots of little flames together, it makes a bonfire. So let's just hold that light in our hearts for a moment. Feel it flowing strongly through our bodies. Remembering we focus on ourselves first, the cups then runneth over, and that light shines out to others. Let's take a moment and do that. Notice that as you feel the lights flowing through your body, flowing out through your heart, you're also receiving light from other light workers, from other souls who are here to support you. Whether they're in your physical environment or just connected virtually, it doesn't matter. The light is still felt the same. Energy has no limits of time and space. So receive that light, feel that connection to your fellow beings of light, here to shift consciousness, the volunteers like you, here star seeds to help shift human consciousness. And feel around you beings of light, archangels, ascended masters, galactic beings of pure, unconditional love, all connected to the divine source of God. Feel these beings watching, cheering you on, bringing light and high frequency energy to the planet. They even intervene to help keep Earth on track on the ascension timeline and help humanity. But we are doing the work. We are on the front lines, and they are absolutely in awe and so much admiration for all that we're doing. It is a spiritual battle. It's a war. It feels like a war, even though at a certain level it's really not. Because we're simply just holding the higher vibration. We're not fighting. Just like Mr. Miyagi in The Karate Kid, I use that analogy a lot. We are not fighting. We're saving our energy because we know that that is more powerful, that love is more powerful. And coming back to fight the 3D with more anger, with just resistance, simply fuels them more. We stand for truth, we stand for sovereignty, yes. We stand strong in our boundaries, but we do this always based in love and compassion and unconditional forgiveness. So just feel this light wrapped around you. Feel it emanating through you, through every cell, just spilling out of your body. Feel all these rainbow layers, just how brilliant, how luminous you are, as if you could just crack through your physical, dense, material body and just be pure light, which may happen someday, maybe not in this lifetime. Feel that light, feel that energy you're generating. Feel the beam of light connecting your heart to everybody else who's listening here, every other light worker on the planet, every other being here, to hold this high vibration of 5D Earth, the new Earth. If you want to bring your hands in prayer position, you can do that. Just giving thanks and honoring yourselves for all that you are and all that you are doing. You are very brave and very strong, stronger than you even know. And so we ask all the divine guides, angels, archangels, ascended masters, beings of light connected to the divine source of the I Am presence of all that is, to be with us, to support us, to give us strength, to give us encouragement, to give us hope, to see the light in the darkness, for the beautiful new earth of unity, of healing, of love, unconditional compassion for all that is bubbling up right now beneath the surface. May it be so, and so it is. So you can stretch out, come back into your body, wrap yourself in light, give yourself a nice hug. And then whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. All right. Well, I am going to go say goodnight to my kids. Thank you all for being here. Wishing you joy, hope in some way. I don't know if I want to say happy Thanksgiving because it's not really happy for everybody. And, it's nice to have gratitude. So, let's just take a moment in this time to focus on gratitude and honoring the spirit of gratitude. And especially, and what I try to do is honor the Native Americans and all that they have been through and all that they have done for our planet, knowing that the truth is out there somewhere about a lot of this, and we're all learning it. But the indigenous people know, and they are teaching us, thankfully. Okay, have a beautiful evening. I'm going to share the link to the Soulful Work Method Intuitive Guide certification course or program, 10-month program. It's intensive. It's not for everybody. Usually there's about 8 to 10. Last time there were 10 people that enrolled, so it's just a small program. If you're interested in doing this work, feel free to reach out. Okay, many blessings. Bye, everyone.